Welcome back, guys. As per requested or suggested, rather, our fellow fans here, yeah, suggested I make a video of what it feels like or what the feeling is like if you have no returns. Now, I've been racing pigeons since 2005, and as old new fans is back then, most of us we did bad, poor racing, and there was guys that did well at the time, but for the newcomers, most of us you were a poor racer. Not to say your birds were poor, but your management, your knowledge, all of that was just disastrous. So most of the time I would enter pigeons. Okay, let me just go back to 2005, my first season. I used to assist my grandfather. He was a walker, sold fruit and veg, and so I used to go to the market from Atlantis to Epping Market, and then maybe twice a week or thrice, 3 times a week, if depending on the stock. I would stock was required at the stand. So then I would have those trips going to the market. I used to take the birds with, and then that is how I got my training. And at the time still we raced what we call the first race is a sportsman race, where you nominate one bird. I think at that time we could nominate more than one bird. So I had 3 birds that I nominated for a sportsman, and 3 birds. I only had my eldest son at the time, so he had one, I had one, my wife had one. So then we clocked my wife's bird, and that bird won the sportsman. 10 minutes later was my bird, but the bird was late. Okay, and then from there that bird also went overall 6th place. From there I did another 10th place Hanover with that same bird. It was a black pipe, and then by default I won a Prince Albert race. So what happened in that specific race was one bird was ended by another fancier for training. So the bird went into the race for a toss, and then that was the first bird back in our club. Then the second bird was another fancier's bird, and that bird was qualified for some other reason, I'm not sure. And then the third bird was my bird. So with the toss bird out of the race, the second bird being disqualified, and then I won by default. So I was told by then also another fancier that I won a cripple race in Afrikaans. For the Afrikaans viewers, ek het 'n gebreklike race gewen. So yeah, I wasn't too impressed with the common, but it didn't faze me that much because I'm still a beginner, and I just didn't take it to all. So yeah, but then it happened, or it so happened that I was made fun of, and it's fine with me because I'm petty and childish and whatever, so I didn't bother much. And that was the performance for that year. Then the following year I had to move loft. I then broke some of the birds in the new what do you call it, the new earth, or where my birds was. And within 2 races I took over from another fan. He couldn't complete his payment, so I paid the rest of his fees, and then carried on racing, but not on his behalf, on my own day. And then what happened is, also with the poor knowledge and not knowing much and whatever, within 2 races I lost all the birds that I had. Only one bird came back. And then from there, so that was 2006, 2007, I didn't race. I then joined the police and went to the police academy or college. And then 2008, I'm not sure if 2008 I was racing, but also no nothing worth mentioning results. In fact, I didn't even make the scoreboard most of the time. And then if I did make the scoreboard, it would be, I think, if memory serves me correct, I think in 2008 I did 3rd place. I still have a, what do you call it, a certificate for that result. And then 2009 also not too lekker. 2010 I didn't race. 2011 I moved into my current place of residence, and there also maybe 2-3 races everything was done and I lost. I don't even want to touch or mention the way it feels. In actual fact, what happened now with all those poor racing and birds not coming back in time and having less knowledge of pigeon racing and all of that, year after year after year, it fueled me to be better. So 2012 came, and like the other seasons before then, it was disastrous from the start. But towards now the end of 2012, we raced Bloemfontein to Cape Town, and I had a bird. I don't want to lie now. Bloemfontein on the day we clocked, and I had a blue pite that arrived in. I think it's 5:05 in the afternoon. The bird arrived, and that bird said, because I'm living close to the trees, my birds daily, even today, they are sitting in the trees, and that bird went and landed in the tree. I had a tree just above the loft back then, and that bird sat there for half an hour. Clocked the bird 25 to 6, and I went 7th and 9th place in that race. And then Mr. Williams back then, he still made fun of me and said, we must organize another race for you, because your birds are in form. Okay, then 2013 arrived. I can't remember how things went from the start, but then the handover. The handover is about 3 or 4 weeks before the Tennyson. And I was racing on the WCTP truck then. But when I initially started the racing, I was with the Federated Board. Okay, so we are now in 2013, the handover came. The race, birds was released, birds arrived. I clocked, or let me say, I had 3 birds within the first 12 positions. Now, our champion that year, he had 6 birds within the first 12. Then we had 3 other fanciers who each had 1 bird within the first 12 positions. So one of those guys, one of those 3 won the race. Then the champion took 2nd, 3rd, 4th and numerous other places or positions within the 12. And then I did 6th place, or my birds did 6th place and 2 other spots, but I think the last position was 11th position. 6th, 9th and 11th, or I'm not too sure anymore. But anyhow, then I had this confidence that I'm gonna have a good race when it comes to the Tennyson. I'm not saying that I predicted anything, I just had this feeling, because when we were basketing for the Tennyson, I had this confidence and I was, what do you call it now? Daging uit, man, God, ek weet nou nie wat is die woord. I was trying to get side bets. So what happened now is we raced Springfontein and Tennyson on the same weekend. So the Tennyson birds is being released on the Friday, and then the Springfontein birds will be released on the Saturday. So we were 4 guys that were involved in the side bet of 100 rand each on the Tennyson, and then I also entered the side bet for the Springfontein because I was that confident now. And when the results came, you know what? I was working shifts, so what happens is now I was working night shift over the over the race days, Friday and Saturday. So from night shift I came Friday night, Saturday morning from night shift, and I came to the loft and I was waiting for birds here. And then I was starting to fall asleep here in front of the loft and inside the loft, and then I thought, let me go outside and go stand next to the house in front. Mind you, I'm out of view of the loft, and I stood with my shoulder against the house there, leaning against the house, waiting for birds to arrive. And luckily for me, I'm racing like a child with, I even do it today. I'm not racing at the moment, but I still race with trap wires, the wire that you used to bend into a U shape. And I will show you guys, I I have space only for one trap wire on each side of my traps. They are facing each other, and the birds will be landing into the passage of the loft. So while I was standing there in front next to the house, I just heard the trap wire hit here at the back. That Saturday morning. When I ran back to see, as I was approaching the loft, I had a wire door back then, and I saw the bird in the passage. I was so excited. I clocked the bird, I clocked 1 minute past 8 that Saturday morning. I was excited. Now, mind you, I must still go work the Saturday night, so I clocked that bird's mother, I think after 10 or what, I'm not sure. But eventually, when the results came out, I went in the Tennyson. I went 1st and 7th place with my birds, with a son and mother in that specific race. But okay, so then after I clocked the birds, I went to sleep, and then later I got up to clock the Springfontein birds, and then prepared to go to work. But during the day, our race secretary, he came to me because he was, I think, going to some function, and he requested me to take our box to do the ring out. And I said to him, no, but I can't because I'm working night shift. So let me see. The stuff is making me laugh. So I asked him, so how did the birds come? Or must we wait for ring out? Because I know he didn't like it when we asked the racing times of the birds before ring out, because it spoils the fun and the surprise and whatever, and I understand it. And then he said, no, it's fine, you will tell me. So he told me his time was 25 minutes past 8, and then I just kept quiet. And then he then asked me what was my time, and then I said to him 8 o'clock, and he got like, he was surprised. I could see like out of his skin. And then he asked me, was it 8 o'clock on the dot? And then I said, no, it's a minute past 8. And he took my hand and but I wasn't that excited because there was other guys that was doing very well on the shorts and whatever. So I said to him, no man, but you must still remember like the other fences that's doing well and what. He said, no my friend, you are winning by miles, by days, almost by years. And to get to the moral of this video, of what it feels like not to have any returns back home. So for years, I'm talking about 8 years, I didn't have good results. I lost so much birds within 2 races. The loft is empty and whatnot. But as I said, it fueled me, it motivated me, and I was just feeling that if I have more knowledge, if I have more the ability to train more and all of that, there's a lot of other things that also plays a role. Training, I for one believe that as a fancier, you must be able to train your birds on your own. You must have your own vehicle to train your birds, because it happens that when you're starting to do good and you're depending on somebody else for training, then there's going to be excuses of, no, I'm not training today, or it's raining, or whatever the reason may be. Then there's not going to be any training, your birds are not going to be competitive. So I know what it feels like not to have any birds back. But me personally, yes, at that moment you don't feel so good, but it fueled me. It fueled me, it fueled me. In the process, it created this little monster that I am today when it comes to pigeons. I cannot contain myself. I cannot behave. I'm childish, I'm petty. So what I've discovered in the early days, the guys that was doing well, they don't actually talk to you, novice, and involve you and all of that. You are just there to pull your pigeons, and you must pull full so that they can win your money and that type of thing. So yeah, with all that in mind, it created this monster that